Hello YouTubers! Today I wanted to talk about how to fake having class. People don't go to fancy dinners as much as they used to, but if you need to and you have like a nice interview or your boss invites you over for dinner or you're looking at getting a promotion, it's always good to know how to prepare yourself for this. I was in a sorority and we got to have etiquette classes with our meal sometimes, and it actually came in handy quite a bit in life. I know which fork to use, how to set up a dinner table, if you're trying to impress some guests that are coming over. Oh, hello Coda, she's in every video. She finds her... She just is nosy. So anyways, it's good to know how to set up a table, how to try and impress important guests, or how to be a good guest when you're the one who they're trying to impress. So first I wanted to talk about ladies kind of how to dress. A classic polo or a sweater goes a long way. If it's warm out, you can get cut-off sleeves, but you can still class it up a little bit. Always wear either like dress pants, or you can always find like dress capris. Polos are something that will never go out of style. They just kind of change the design. But if you invest in like a solid color polo shirt, you are golden for life. If you are going to wear a skirt, make sure that it's about knee length. And if it's too short, put some leggings underneath it. There's always simple ways to class up something. When it comes to your hair, by all means, leave it down if you want to leave it down. If you're someone like me, I shed a lot. My hair is always falling out. So I don't want that to happen to the food, because if I'm trying to eat dinner and my host sees me pulling out a hair out of the food, they're going to be insulted. They're going to think that maybe it was theirs. They're going to feel really bad. It's going to cause a huge scene. So the easiest way to do that, and like the classic way for people who aren't very good at doing their hair and makeup and stuff, just take your hair, pull it back. You can put a pony right by your neck if you want to, or you can just, you know, give it a twist, pull it up, stick your clip in. Boom. Hair's out of your face. It looks nice. It's classy. It's something that won't really go out of style. Your mom probably still does it. Maybe even your grandma, if she's still got some good hair and she hasn't chopped it all off yet. But yeah, I mean, just look nice. They call it business casual. Like if you're a lawyer or a realtor, perfect. Just wear what you would wear to work. If you look like a lawyer or a realtor, or you look really nice, like you're going to go to some fancy interview, perfect. Don't change anything. As for your makeup, try and keep it light and simple. You don't want to, you're not going to a club, you're not going to a party, you're just going to something kind of classy and elegant. Try and stick with your nude colors. If you absolutely want other colors, try and make it subtle. Match it with your outfit if you can. Keep your jewelry pretty simple and minimum. I always have a watch on. It's just who I am. But I will change it out for, like, if I was actually going out, I'd probably put on a white watch that I have. Or I do have a pink one that would match this, actually. So keep in mind that, like, how you present yourself is a really big deal. People make judgments, and if it's the first time meeting someone, maybe a spouse or another friend that they've invited over, in the first 30 seconds they already have an opinion of you, and it's going to be really hard to change that opinion if it's a bad one. Okay, so your dinner. Now that we've talked about, you know, being dressed and how to keep it simple and classy, let's talk about how your plates are going to be set up. So your plate is always going to be in the middle of you. I'm sorry, I can't really maneuver really well. And your napkin will probably be on the plate. A lot of people like to put it in the glass or make a cute little fancy design. And then you're going to have your forks. Now a good trick to know is F-O-R-K. 4 letters. L-E-F-T. 4 letters. Your fork is going to be on the left. So I have 2 forks, a bigger one and a smaller one. The smaller one's going to go on the outside. Let's see. Let's try and move this back here so you can see it. There we go. Okay, now your spoon and knife. S-P-O-O-N. R-I-G-H-T. Spoons go on the right. Knife. K-N-I-F-E. R-I-G-H-T. So everything goes in, you work your way from the outside in towards the plate. So on the outsides, in. So the last thing that you're probably going to need, think about it this way. When you go to a restaurant and they ask you soup or salad. If you order a soup, it's going to come out first, right? So you're going to need your spoon first. So the first thing that you're going to need should be on the furthest outside. So you got your knife here and your spoon here. I used to think about it that you have the sharp part of the knife facing the plate. So when you grab your spoon, you're not going to, if you're sloppy, you're not going to cut yourself on the knife. I always used to think that, the fork has prongs and the knife has sharp edges, but the spoon has nothing. So the knife is defending the spoons from the sharp forks, if that helps you. Anyways, if you have a second spoon, great. If not, that's okay. So always take your napkin, remove it from your plate if it's on your plate. Don't make yourself a bib. Coda, I'm going to need you to move. Get down. She just got her nose on the edge of the fork and it got her. Let me fix this here. Oh boy. Okay. So, it looks kind of ridiculous and trashy if you're having a napkin right here. So always take your napkin and put it on your lap. Okay? So when maybe you have a soup come out, or maybe they put a salad in a little bowl. If it's a soup, take your spoon the furthest outside and eat your soup. Then take it away. If I'm eating my soup, once a piece of silverware has touched the dish, it doesn't go back on the table, ever. You're just going to make a mess. You're going to ruin your host's tablecloth. You're going to ruin your own tablecloth if it's your house. Just when you're finished, you're finished. Take it away. So, Americans have this problem where when you take something and you want to cut a steak, you cut the steak, you put your knife down, you switch your hand. Americans are the only ones that do that. Everywhere else in Europe, they just eat with the same hand. So if they bring out the salad, you eat your salad. Always scoop away from yourself. Try and eat with your left hand. I'm demonstrating. Scoop away from yourself. It's going to be harder for if you're normally a right-handed person. All of you lefties, well, you're in for some luck because you get to eat with your left hand and nobody's going to yell at you for bumping them because they should be eating with their left hand too. Again, it touched the plate. It doesn't touch the table. It gets taken away. Your main course comes out. Maybe you don't need a spoon. Maybe you need it for dessert. You can skip over it if you have, let's say we're having steak and potatoes. So, you take your fork, you stab it, you cut your steak, you set it down, you use your left hand, and you feed yourself. Never cut more than 2 or 3 bites at a time. It just looks kind of ridiculous, plus you're pushing your food all around. If you don't like something, taste it. Always taste before salt and peppering. You don't want to insult your host by salting and peppering their food when they probably already seasoned it. Now, if it needs salt and pepper, by all means, add salt and pepper, but taste it first. Always taste it first. If you happen to not like it, kind of spread it around a little bit and leave it. Don't say that you don't like it. Don't make any comments. Don't leave it as it was given to you. Kind of try and make it look like you ate a little bit. It'll help your host feel a little bit better. Maybe you tried it. Maybe you just got too full. They don't know and they won't ask. Okay? So if you can keep your knife in your hand, it's always a good idea. But if you have to set it down, make sure you set it on the plate. Don't put the silverware back on the table. Okay? And scoop away from you. Now when you're eating, you shouldn't need to have the napkin up here as a bib, because when you're scooping away from you, you should have just enough on there to give yourself a bite. You shouldn't be falling off the fork, and when you bring it to you, Americans also have this problem. We like to eat like this, like we're bobbleheads or something. No. You bring the fork to you, put it in your mouth, and if it drips, it should drip on your napkin. And it should be done dripping by the time you get it to your outfit, which is why Americans like to put their bib up here, because they're always diving in, so when it drips, it hits here. If you're eating right, it drips, it went on your lap, and then makes it to your mouth. Speaking of cell phones, always make sure that your cell phone is on vibrate or silent. You don't want to be rude, interrupt your dinner. If you are expecting an important phone call, keep it on vibrate, keep it on your side, and then excuse yourself. Now, when you excuse yourself, take your napkin, put it on the right. When you put it on the right, right means you will be right back. You're not finished. you're going to be back. Grab your napkin, put it back on your lap when you've returned. When you are finished with the meal, people have a thing, put it on the plate. This is a cloth napkin. I mean, it's going to be dirty because it's a napkin, but are you really going to soil it with all the food and make me like shake it over the garbage to get the chunks off? That's pretty rude. So, when you're finished, you're done, put it on the left. Left means you've left. You're done. You are not coming back. You are finished with your meal. The end. End of story. Okay? So, even if you weren't born in a high-class society or you weren't taught all of this stuff, you can still easily fake it. I love going out to fancy, nice restaurants, and I take my husband with me, and I've given him kind of like the real fast crash course of this, so now he looks like a normal person instead of, you know, what do I do with all these forks and spoons and knives? Outside, in. Don't take your utensils off of the plate. Don't put them back on the table or the napkin or anything. Leave them on there. Unless your guest says otherwise, like, keep your fork, we're having cake for dessert. Set it on your napkin. On the right, because you are not finished with your meal. Your glass is always on the right. So if you're sitting at a large table and there's a bunch of people and you're like, which glass is mine? They're so close together. Yours is always on the right. For right-handed people, that's pretty easy. You know, you grab your glass with your right hand and you drink it. For left-handed people, well, you got away with the whole fork being on the left side, so you got to give and take a little bit here. So I hope I was kind of informative. I hope that you know how to set your table to have important guests over, and you know how to behave yourself properly. Other than just the no elbows on the table, don't be a slob, wipe your mouth, and one last thing. However the food got into your mouth, if it got stuck, if you're eating fish and you have a fish bone in your mouth, if you put the fish in your mouth with a fork, you get the fish bone out of your mouth with a fork. If you're eating finger food and you put it in your mouth and you get a piece stuck in your teeth, use your fingers to get it out. However the food got into your mouth is how you take it out. Okay? Have fun, have yourself a nice fancy dinner party, go to a friend's house, impress your friends, make them think that you're super high class and fancy and do all these nice richy things even if you don't. It's kind of fun to pretend once in a while, and it's really nice to just get out and get to do something different. So like and subscribe to my page, and I'll put out more videos about rants, raves, and informative stuff. Have a great day.